Hi guys, my name is Claire Anderson Gilliat, and I am providing this journal analysis for you who are familiar with composition studies but may not be as familiar with this journal. So the journal that I have chosen to analyze is Computers and Composition Online. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this, I have provided in the first couple of slides some context as to what the journal mission statement is, what the purpose of the journal is. So first, the journal goal. The goal of Computers and Composition Online is to provide an online resource for educators to help them keep up on emerging media and technologies that are being used in the virtual and traditional classroom spheres, to help them teach writing and reading. It is also to promote a virtual exchange for the latest and best work in the field. So these are quotations taken directly from their website to help you get a better idea of what their mission is. Next, the online journal is broken into 5 different parts or 5 different web pages, and on each page they provide a different resource for educators. So there's theory into practice, virtual classroom, professional development, print to screen, and reviews. For the purposes of this, this analysis, I will be looking specifically at academic articles that are published in the theory into practice section of their online journal. So for the rest of the presentation, it will be broken into 3 main parts. First, we're going to discuss main patterns that I saw throughout this journal, dissonances in maybe what the journal was claiming to want to provide for educators versus what they were actually producing, and then my conclusions about this journal. So we'll start with patterns. All right, so when assessing key patterns in the Computers and Composition online journal, I began by looking at key topics that the journal articles mention. I noticed that there were 4 basic things. First, how current events shape digital writing pedagogies. Second, remote teaching was a big topic. Third, online resource use in the classroom. And fourth, using technologies to increase equity in the classroom. Now, each of these key topics had several arguments associated with it that were kind of integrated throughout all of the journal articles that I read. In terms of key arguments related to current events shaping pedagogies, one that I noticed was that teaching while online is increasingly and vitally important. For remote teaching, one of the key arguments that I noticed, I won't read all of them, but the first one is that not every technology used for online writing instruction increases learning, access, and equity. So currently there is a debate among educators about what tools that technology provides are the most efficient, the best at teaching writing to students. For the third key topic, online resource use in the classroom, a key argument I saw connected to that was that educators need to reassess online learning tools like Wiki that have previously been overlooked, but that could be useful to students' learning if integrated into the online writing instruction. And then fourth, the key topic, using technologies to increase equity in the classroom. One of the key arguments I saw related to this pattern throughout was that educators should go above and beyond in creatively using digital mediums to promote best pedagogical practices in their fields. So in short, the argument, you're a good educator if you're trying to use technology more, because increasingly our world is becoming technology heavy, technology related, technology connected. In terms of research methods that I saw, almost every journal I read used surveys as their methodology, and form of assessment. Few journals that I read at least showed mixed methods using both qualitative and quantitative data to create analysis and conclusions. So that's a critique I have, which leads me into the dissonances overall of this journal. So I have different levels. They go from broad to slightly less broad to more specific. So at the broadest or journal setup level, I noticed that the journal mission statement says that they're trying to have a diverse array of pieces, meaning writing pieces. However, the actual authors of the articles themselves are not from a diverse geographical region of the world. I mean, they're all US authors and educators. And so that could definitely be something that is broadened to cast out a wider net of educators to be brought in to provide ideas on how they use technology in their writing pedagogies. So next level, website-wide, something that the journal mission statement said was that they're trying to foster a sense of community and promote a virtual exchange. But I found it super odd that despite wanting this community, their website itself did not provide a comments section, which to me seems like a really obvious and easy way for a website to become more conversational, more open to promoting virtual exchange. So that was a little odd. And also, the website itself was not very user-friendly. It was very hard to navigate. All the tabs were kind of oddly arranged. And then just visually, aesthetically, it was not very pleasing to look at. And then the most specific level, article level, the journal mission statement says that they are interested in the impact of new and emerging media upon the teaching of language and literacy in both virtual and face-to-face forums. So they're interested in this. They're trying to be innovative in every technique that they're using. And yet a dissonance that I saw was their research methods were not very diverse or innovative. I mean, it was all surveys and very few mixed method. And so I just list up a couple of different methodologies that they could use or think of integrating into that journal. So now we're going to move on to my conclusions. I'm going to move my little image here so you can see it. Some conclusions that I drew about this journal's values were that it values the dynamic nature of writing systems. It values educators who are willing to keep up with these changes and try and innovate themselves in the classroom, like try and use new technologies, try and create their own websites to better teach writing. It also values pedagogies and curricula that integrate new theories and technologies that increase the utility of literacy in the modern world. And last, it values teaching writing in ways that invite students to engage socially and professionally in responsible ways. It seems like increasingly, especially in this journal, there's an emphasis on practicality and preparation, student preparation. What are we teaching writing for? And is this actually going to be applicable for those students in the real world? And it seems like this journal in particular is noticing technology is everywhere in the careers that are now cropping up for writing students. And then finally, where I think composition studies is heading, at least based on the journal that I just reviewed. So I think that Computers and Composition Online clearly thinks composition studies has transitioned to a new space that involves both the traditional and a virtual classroom. And I think this is partly, at least I think it implies, due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, multimodal writing in academic and not just social spheres is very important. And then that how we gather knowledge, the methodology needs to innovate to provide more accurate and nuanced analysis. So these are the conclusions that I drew from my journal analysis. Finally, I just wanted to tie it into one of the readings that I've been doing in my class, echoing back to the framework regarding the habits of mind. And I noticed that some of the habits of mind that this journal seems to especially value is creativity, flexibility, and curiosity. Now you'll notice I skipped over the word industry because that isn't a word from the original Habits of Mind framework. It's something that I added because I think that is a habit of mind that this journal values incredibly, and that might be an echo of what where composition studies is heading. And just that teaching writing needs to be something that's marketable, that we need to be focused on writing genres that students can take and then use in a professional sphere. So that's why I added industry. Finally, I just wanted to reiterate the concepts that we went over in this video. First, that Computers and Composition Online is an online resource for educators that explores innovations at the intersections of pedagogy, language and literacy teaching, and new media and technologies. The patterns that we noted are that this journal makes it, one of the key arguments of this journal makes is that effective, responsible teaching means learning and integrating new technologies into your pedagogical practices. One of the key dissonances that I found is that despite advocating for innovation in writing, the journal itself fails to use this innovation in their own web design and in their article methodologies. And then the conclusions that I drew is that this journal values educators who are proactively trying to utilize new technologies to teach literacy and language. Thank you so much for watching this presentation. Here is my Works Cited page of all of the resources that I was able to look over. I would highly recommend you view their website and take a look for yourself. All right. Thank you.